underway. And it's the Tide who win the tip.
And what a matchup. Elijah Martin guarding Mark Sears. Elijah Martin, a great on-ball defender.
Grant Nelson, good matchup with Alex Condon. Cliff Amore to Sears. The pass back. Richard, Martin, and Clayton. And the big guys are terrific, too. Florida has really good depth, and they could beat you so many different ways.
One of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. You've got to lay a body on someone and fight.
Will Richard lays it in, and Florida scores first.
Just off that handoff action, and Ruben Chinyelu screens off Cliff Amore. He screens help better than any big.
At the line for the Tide, a transfer from you win games in so many different ways, and the pace at which both like to play is just fantastic. This should be a great game.
Well, Alabama likes to shoot a lot of threes, but they get them off penetration. You have to guard the ball, keep them out of the lane.
And Martin just lost the handle, and coach at Alabama, won 2 years ago, won 4 years ago.
Alabama has 11 top 25 wins thus far this season, 4 against the top 10. That's remarkable.
Clayton pulls up for 3, around and out. Chinyelu lays it back in.
There's the offensive glass. Condon got a hand on it, and then Chinyelu corralled it under the bucket.
Philon, the freshman who was so good in the quarterfinal win yesterday over Kentucky. The assist on the basket by Grant Nelson.
Boy, how about that pass by Philon?
He had 21 points, 4 assists yesterday in a 29-point win over Kentucky. Florida beat Missouri in the quarters to get here. Look at the pace by Sears.
Just pushing the ball up court. Many people have said it, myself included. He is the Jalen Brunson of this Alabama team.
In league play, second in scoring, second in assists as well. Clayton into Condon. Nice little shovel pass. Chinyelu again.
These are the best passing big men in the SEC, maybe in the country, that Florida has.
And another one coming off the bench, Thomas Houck, who's a great passer as well. Nelson left alone, and he'll knock it down. The grad transfer from North Dakota State, only 27% from 3 on the season, but he's got the green light, and he seems to make them at big times.
Yeah, you don't want to let him get his feet set and dare him to shoot it.
Look at that. Look at the handle. A great look to Youngblood for 3.
Grant Nelson grew up in North Dakota as a guard. Now he's grown into a big guy, but he just showed he still has guard skills.
And Youngblood, a very good shooter, 38% from 3. Alabama off to a hot start. Condon will try a 3. And the offensive rebound, Richard spins, hangs, and hits.
Will Richard has had a fantastic year.
Martin deflects it and then takes it away. Elijah Martin to Clayton.
Good pass.
Right back out to a wide open Clayton, who knocks down the 3.
Boy, the pass inside, that was inside out, and Philon went to the ball, left Clayton wide open.
Clayton, as is Sears, a finalist, 1 of 5 for the Cousy Award as the best point guard in the nation. Martin. And look at Nelson. Did he play some free safety back in North Dakota?
Yeah, until he grew.
Nice play to get the turnover. Sears up top. Amore knocked away by Condon.
Condon was fantastic in Tuscaloosa at 27 points, 10 rebounds. He was great on screen and roll situations.
Chinyelu, the catch under the basket, and he gets it out to Martin. Condon, just a sophomore as well, from Perth, Australia. Martin, the lob for Condon. Really caught under the basket, blocked from behind and blocked again. And it'll be Alabama ball when we come back. He made his way to the bench, something to keep an eye on, as Aiden Holloway has now checked into the Tide, as has Jaron Stevenson. Philon for 3. And it's Micah Hanlockton who takes away the rebound. A guy Florida fans know this story well. Broke his leg in this building, in this tournament last year.
Great depth at the guard position. Aberdeen comes off the bench. Urban Klapjar can come in and shoot it.
Holloway, an Auburn Tiger a year ago. And the open three will go down for Stevenson, an incredibly talented young man, a sophomore from Chapel Hill who's made 19 starts this year for Alabama.
He's on a heater. He had 16 against Kentucky, 3 of 5 from 3 last night.
Kentucky hung in for a while with Alabama. The Wildcats decimated by injuries, and Alabama eventually pulled away. Florida got a push from Missouri. Handlocked in a beautiful two-man game with Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah, Sherrill too much on the ball and nobody on the weak side. Just a quick slip to the bucket for the easy dunk.
Philon hesitates, can't hit it, and then working hard on the glass, Aiden Sherrill.
Aiden Sherrill's got a big body, and he can step out and knock down a three as well.
A freshman from Detroit, a McDonald's All-American. Aberdeen, no. Hand-Logden, they follow.
We were just talking about Hand-Logden's offensive rebounding. He started his career at Marshall.
In the front court that Todd Golden has at his disposal, and you can really say the same thing for Nate Oates.
Yes. Florida's guards are as good as anybody.
And how about Clayton started at Iona? Richard started at Belmont. Martin started at Florida Atlantic, and it may be the best trio in the country.
Yeah, you think you got Walter Clayton Jr. bottled up. He makes a dribble move, uses a screen. What a play by Stevenson. He is on a heater right now.
Sensational drive by Jaron Stevenson. And a three-point play for Stevenson, and it's tied again, this time at 20. Less than 7 minutes in. Every college basketball game should be just like this one. Could you make that happen?
Yeah. Good luck.
Watching these two teams play is so much fun. Klapjar, and it's still Florida.
More than Todd Golden, but these are high-scoring teams.
Alabama averages better than 91 points per game. Florida almost 85. When you look at efficiency, Florida's third, Alabama's fourth. Elijah Martin again.
17 points last night against Missouri. He was 7 of 9. One of the toughest players in the country.
Boy, Klapjar really sticking his nose in there against Steve today. Jolin, you and I, first and foremost, are both just concerned about the game itself and the championship here for the SEC, but big picture there, it feels like, you know, there's some one seed up in the air here. There are some things to be decided near the top of the bracket in the next couple of days as well.
Yeah, I still think that Tennessee's alive for a 1 seed. If they wind up winning this tournament, I like their chances.
I would agree with you. And what goes into this as well, of course, is Houston in the Big 12, Duke in the ACC. Those championship games coming your way later today and tonight right here on ESPN.
Boy, good defense by Elijah Martin to
inbounded to Amori. And now Sears looking like himself. That left leg must be okay. In and out. Boy, Holloway had a good look. Terrific rebound there by Mo Diabate. Sears from the logo can't knock it down, but Diabate does it again, and the third time is the charm.
Mohamed Diabate, the lefty from Queens, New York, is as tough, physical, and as good a motor as anybody in the country. He works.
Who's according to Joe Lunardi, and I can't think of anybody who would argue that, to be honest with you. But Jay and I both agree there appears to be some room for movement. Klapjar with a three to tie it at 25.
Klapjar with a little handoff, then came back to the ball and got a screen from Condon. Beautiful.
And at the other end, Alabama back on top, 27-25. Klapjar, a guy, wasn't playing a lot early, as it's laid in by him a couple of times when this happened. Got a chance to play and came in and started knocking down shots. Kind of just forced his way into the rotation. They had some injuries in the middle of the year. Martin and Clayton were a little banged up. Klapjar got a chance and made the most of it.
Well, Alabama's doing a good job, even in transition with that double drag. That's hard to guard. And LeBaron Philon, this guy is a budding star.
Yeah, he is getting better by the game. Was the player of the game for Alabama in the win over Kentucky last night. Grant Nelson.
And give credit to Philon for that screen, but that's a big-time finish by Grant Nelson.
Houck the pass fake, and he'll return the favor with a dunk at the other end.
And Condensed screened off the help defense again.
Nelson with the running reverse.
My neck hurts.
33-29, less than 10 minutes in.
How fun is this?
Aberdeen, the turnaround. And it's going against the Gators.
Now watch Philon. After he gives the ball up, he sets a screen, and that helps Nelson get all the way to the rim. And right open.
And Clayton's still going. Too strong off the glass. Chinyelu again. That's his third putback of the game already.
It's so hard in transition to block these guys out because Nelson had to put some pressure on Clayton. How are you going to get in front of Chinyelu?
As you mentioned, the Gators, one of the very best offensive rebounding teams in the country. The floater for Sears and the soft touch.
Well, with this drop coverage, I don't think that Nate Oates minds that little floater, especially from Mark Sears. He's so good at it. Usually that's not a high value shot, but in this game, it's going to be available.
Clayton open. Got it. A three for Walter Clayton Jr., and it's a 1-point game.
This dude is a bucket. Just peeled back off a Condensed screen. Talk about being ready to shoot.
First team All-SEC and a finalist for the Cousy Award as the best point guard of the nation. As we mentioned, so is Mark Sears.
Well, Sears has been struggling from three of late. His last 3 games coming into this one, 4 of 22 from 3.
Martin like a full.
That's a tough task.
1 of 2 for Martin, and it's tied at 35.
Guy with the ball can get you some rebounds. Mohamed Diabate.
Got a great screen from Sears and a foul at the rim. Richard has left the game. Urban Klobjar has checked in, and Richard has walked past the end of the bench and towards the tunnel, towards the locker room. Clayton knocks down the 3 to put Florida back on top, but something to keep an eye on, something obviously going on with Will Richard.
Jaron Stevenson guarding Walter Clayton Jr. gets some size on him. Still, he shot over him.
Sears, what a look. Stevenson open. Missed the 3, and it's Alabama ball out off of Chinyelu.
Almost 2 per game. That's top 10 in the Southeastern Conference. His steals come off the ball, while Elijah Martin's usually come on the ball. 2 really good steals guys.
Condon switches onto Sears. Stevenson in the corner knocks down the 3.
He is an excellent corner shooter and a great find. Drawing the defense, Elijah Martin has to try to get back out there, but a great pass by Sears.
Second 3 of the game already for Jaron Stevenson, and how about that rebound from Mark Sears?
That's what it's going to take. The guards have to get down and rebound as well.
Driving by Condon, floats it up, it will go. Sears now with 6.
And that shot is going to be there. It's going to be tough for Mark Sears, who's still limping. Tough for him to get all the way to the rim with the size that Florida has. Just stopping short for that floater is a good shot for him.
Tennessee defeating Auburn 70-65 in the first semi today. The winner of this gets the Volunteers tomorrow for the SEC championship. Martin, what a move. What a pass. And Condon is fouled.
Condon also a cricket player in addition to being one of the top 5 rebounders in the SEC, both overall and offensive rebounders. Best cricket player in the Southeastern Conference.
Nelson. Holloway stumbling, Martin all over him.
Almost an on-ball steal there. The best on-ball defender on this Florida roster.
And a good play by Clayton. Knocks it away, and it's Florida ball.
That's a play Clayton wouldn't have made last year. Much improved defender. Boy, Houck has Holloway on him. Now they switch back. It's Diabate.
Klobjar using the screen from Houck. Has it taken away by Diabate, who finishes.
What a play by Diabate. Switches back out, knocks it away, stays in front of Klobjar to not let him knock the ball away big time.
And he's all over him again. Almost got another one. It's out of bounds, Florida ball, but Mo Diabate making a huge difference in this game.
Just switches out and switches up. to take something away from Klobuchar and winds up taking the ball away. And it's been a different game from the one in Tuscaloosa. In that game, the transition went in favor of Florida. Now it's in favor of Alabama. They are getting up and down the floor and cashing in.
Five. And Aberdeen takes Klobuchar's place for the Gators. Condon asking for the ball, and an offensive foul. Grant Nelson defending, and Condon has picked up number 2.
Flagrant 2.
So 2 on Chinyelu, 2 on Condon, and 2 on Hanlockton. The floater no for Nelson, and it's down to Houck. Nelson a little slow to get up and grimacing. Martin, the baseline drive and lay-in.
Again, Condon screens off the help. He screened off Nelson. He couldn't get there. Easy path to the basket for Martin.
Sears really pushing the pace at the offensive end for Bama.
That's like 3 buckets the big guys have screened off the help. Another pass.
How did he find Stevenson? Phylon.
Jaron Stevenson going to stick on Walter Clayton Jr. That puts some size and length on him, and he's had a terrific start to this game.
Will Richard back into the game for Florida. Condon playing with 2 fouls. Can't get the shot off. Good defense by Amori. Now Amori switches out onto Clayton. Left the 3 short, and it belongs to Phylon and the tie.
And Alabama out in transition again.
What a play by Clayton. Just plain and simple took it away. Condon couldn't finish, but Houck cleans it up.
And really the first time out in transition for an easy one for Florida.
What an incredible steal there by Walter Clayton Jr. to lead to that fast break bucket for the Gators.
It's that free safety in him.
Off the leg of Phylon, and it belongs to Florida.
Walter Clayton Jr. just grabbed this thing right out of the air. A terrific play. Just grabs the ball basically out of the hands of LeBaron Phylon.
That's wild.
That's a big time play.
Yeah. Hanlockton has taken the place of Condon right now. Aberdeen at the point, defended by Holloway. Richard lost it. Stevenson ahead to Diabate, who lays it in.
Nice job by Diabate to put the brakes on and let Aberdeen fly by.
There have been 9 lead changes already in this game. Houck is open. There have been 10 lead changes already in this game.
Thomas Houck, that's his 28th 3 on the season.
How good is he going to be? How good is he already?
He's really good now, but yeah, he's going to be a great player.
Holloway. Diabate the rebound. Shot fake Sears.
Well, he needs to get one to go. He has really been struggling from 3 over the last 4 games now.
Has not made a 3 yet in this one, 0 for 4, but he does have 3 two-point field goals, 6 points, 3 assists. Houck to the paint. And it's down to Sears, and the Tide's running again. Right into the chest of Aberdeen to draw the foul and get to the line.
He needs to get a 3 to go down. He's not shot the ball well the last 3-4 games. But still, he's putting points up because he does it in so many different ways, and he's so valuable.
Analog to Clayton.
Clayton's constant motion.
Every move he's got, but he left the shot short, and Sherrill down with the rebound for Alabama.
Now remember, Sherrill can knock a 3 down.
Stevenson can as well. Got a couple already.
The faster playing team, but we also need to be the tougher playing team.
Jess, thank you. Of concern for Alabama, Grant Nelson, never mind not starting the second half, and he started the game. He is not on the Alabama bench. Again, the last information we had, a left leg injury, questionable to return. Jaron Stevenson starts the second half in his place. Florida ball. Clayton will inbound it for the Gators. Out to Condon, back to Clayton.
Rebounding for Alabama is going to be a 5-man job.
The pull-up, short. Chinyelu, another offensive rebound. short on the jump hook. Condon the rebound. Chinyelu again. Into the front court. 2-point game, early second half.
Sears needs to see one go through the basket.
Phylon.
Good help by Condon.
Chris Youngblood with his second three of the game.
Really good screen by Diabate. Kept Walter Clayton Jr. from getting back to the ball.
Youngblood, a guy who could really help Alabama from beyond the arc. Missed the first 9 games of the year with an ankle injury. Martin answers with a three for Florida.
Boy, terrific job to break up that lob, but it led to a three. You tapped it out, and that essentially served as the pass that led to the three-point shot.
A clean look for Phylon. He'll miss her in the semis of the SEC tournament. Handlocked it. Richard in some traffic on the baseline. Tough shot.
Well, Will Richard is a tough shot maker. Really good cutter. He's had some great games this year. 30 against Georgia, 25 against Texas A&M.
1 year with Belmont, 3rd year in Gainesville. Sears driving. Blocked by Condon. Saved by Handlocked. Richard is fouled.
Hand-to-hand combat.
Clayton stays in front of Sears. Not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Totally different defender this year versus last year.
Knocks it away. Lays it in. What a play by Walter Clayton Jr. at both ends.
He is an NBA guard. No doubt in my mind.
Youngblood underneath the basket. Somehow found room.
Chris Youngblood. He was the player of the year in the American Athletic Conference when he was at South Florida.
Condon steps out to help out. Now needs some help. The cut by Richard, the pass deflected, stolen by Stevenson.
Youngblood fortunate. He had his arm wrapped around Condon.
Youngblood a miss, weak side rebound, Stevenson. And a foul.
By Colorado last year. I don't see that happening this year. They're a much better defensive team.
Front court and back court.
Everywhere.
Aiden Holloway back into the game for the Tide. Handlocked switches out onto him. Holloway misses the three, and Handlocked in the rebound. Four minutes into the second half, Florida out to an 8-point lead. Condon, everything but the finish, and the rebound to Sherrill.
He did such a good job of slipping out of that screening action.
Phylon still hasn't scored in this game for Bama. 21 yesterday in the quarters. Knocked away by Handlocked. Martin off to the races. What a combination of speed and power there by Elijah Martin. And here they come again. What a move by Clayton. The finish for Condon, and it's all Gators. Nate Oates is going to let him keep going. No timeout for Alabama.
How impressive has this Florida defense been early in the second half?
Whoa! How about that impressive? Youngblood, no. Another rebound for Handlocked.
Boy, Handlocked has been impressive in this game in short minutes.
Martin the drive, and another. Golden, you and I had a game a couple of months ago and we asked him about Martin coming over, and he said, you know, we thought it would be great, but you don't know how it's going to be until you actually see it on the court. Well, everybody in the country can see that it's working extremely well. Chris Youngblood, another three, his third of the game.
Going in that ball screen, when you set the screen, when they're in drop coverage, Chinyelu can't get up there. And I think Alabama needs to do that a little bit more.
No Nelson for Alabama, out with a left leg injury. Philon hasn't scored, and Sears has 7, but he's 3 for 9, hasn't hit a 3 yet. Wow, tough shot again. Aberdeen.
Mark Sears having to guard first Thomas Houck in the post, then he switched off on Aberdeen, and he's so strong that Aberdeen had to take that turnaround jumper.
Stevenson short on the 3, and saved by Chinyelu. Chinyelu having a huge rebounding game. That's his 10th. Now a touch in the paint. He is working hard at both ends, Jay.
They are just dominating the paint. Their size, depth. Florida just keeps coming at you. In Florida play going, hey, they're every bit as good as Auburn. They're every bit as good as Duke.
Yep.
And Houston, they need to be talked about as the best team in the country. They're right there.
Well, the first.
But it's almost like nobody's saying that.
Their 4 losses this year, all in conference play. We mentioned at Kentucky, lost at home to Missouri. That's back in January as well. Lost at Tennessee in early February. The Gators and the Volunteers have split their 2 meetings this year. Then they lost at Georgia on the 25th of February. How about Walter Clayton Jr.?
Down on the baseline, passes back out, and then moves to an open area. It's just so difficult to stay with them. It's not like Chris Youngblood did a bad job. It's just Walter
Chinyelu. So he will come out in Florida paying off. They've got Hanlogton and Houck and Chinyelu and Condon. And they rotate those 4 guys around between 2 spots. Aberdeen at the point. Just keeps going. Well, he's got a way of getting where he wants to get.
Well, and then he can go over Aiden Holloway. You know, Holloway's a small guard. He just bullied him right down the lane line.
Holloway 6'1", to your point. Aberdeen 6'5". Sears kicks it again. Stevenson in the corner again. Big collision between the two. Florida outscoring Alabama 26-12 in the second half. The drive by Klabjar, and back comes Diabate. Diabate still going and gets fouled by Houck.
Shots and had some big games in his career, but he's going to have to earn everything.
Mo Diabate at the line for the Tide. Very good game against Kentucky in the quarters. 13 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of blocks. And he's got 6 points and 9 rebounds already in this one.
There's the Iverson cut into a ball screen, slips out of it.
Condon bothered by Diabate, got a piece of it.
Tough pass to Corral.
Boy, look at the speed. I mean, a little bit out of control and then thrown away. Auburn, and to your point about great passing big guys, he's got 11 assists in his last 2 games coming into this one.
High offensive rebound rate. He shoots about 70% at the rim. And he's easy to play with. Like, he doesn't need the ball to play his tail off.
How does Alabama get Sears and Philon going? Like, nobody's ever said this about the Tide this year. Where's the offense going to come from for them? Youngblood and Miss, they just don't look like themselves right now.
Well, they're being made to play in the half court. Yeah. Florida's made them into a half court team. If you want to run, you got to get rebounds and stops. And right now, you know, Florida is shooting a really high percentage, shooting over 60% in the second half.
Big to big, Condon to Houck. Klabjar in the corner. Boy, that would have this roster. There's
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hanlogton closing out on Sears. Sherrill gives it back to Sears. Hanlogton didn't know where he was for a moment. Little guy on big guy. Big guy wins. How about Micah Hanlogton?
He's played 9 minutes. He's got 9 rebounds.
Yep.
He's been great.
Maury from Philon, but there is lots of work still to be done for Alabama. It's 19 right now. A trap on Klabjar. He fights his way out of it. Hanlogton. Houck spins and hits. What skill.
So good with that spin move. Just great footwork by Thomas Houck.
Philon stripped, still hasn't scored today.
And it was Handlogden who stripped him.
A cut by Aberdeen. A tip by Handlogden and down to Philon. Stevenson, hard work, couldn't get it. And again, it's Florida ball.
The challenges at the rim, it's so hard for Alabama to get a finish because of the size and length and want to of these Florida big guys.
Richard. Boy, sometimes he looks like he'll never miss again.
So he's the best shooter on this roster. I mean, the best scorer is Walter Clayton Jr., but I think if there was a horse contest, my sense is Richard would win it.
Youngblood, another three, his fourth of the game, trying to keep Alabama in this. You can see in the background there 4 Gators getting ready to check in. Remember Todd Golden saying, quote, our depth is going to wear these guys down. He's got 9 guys he really believes in.
And the bench has made a huge impact in this game. Aberdeen's one of them.
Blocked. Both Amori and Stevenson were there. Youngblood again. Finally,
The equal of a team like Auburn or Duke or Houston.
Chinulu again with a seal to try to free up a lane for Clayton.
Now they got the switch.
Clayton hits another three. I mean, he's just getting anything he wants and making everything he takes.
He just steps back from Sherrill, and that meant Philon had to block out Ruben Chinulu. So even if he misses, Chinulu's right there for the offensive board.
Holloway answers with a three of his own. You know, you go back to the beginning of the season, and the beginning of the season seems like decades ago. So much changes even as quick as a college basketball season can go. Condon, again, another three.
What do you do?
Florida was ranked, Jay, 21st preseason. 21st in the nation. Got into the top 10 in early December, and they haven't been out of it since.
I mean, what do you do when you play pick and pop with one of your 6'11" big guys? He knocks down a three. Inside or out, who can handle the ball and dribble lob threat.
Florida is 11 for 23. That's 48% from 3 today. Clayton's got 6 of them. 5 other players each have 1. So 6 different Gators have made a 3 in this game.
Both these teams, I think, very well prepared, but Florida does as good a job as anyone is preparing their team for playing in these games.
Great offense there. Clayton to Condon to Martin for the bucket.
Ball movement is just elite.
Holloway short. Stevenson the rebound.
Of the many things you like about Florida, they can play at different tempos. They can play fast. They can play slow.
They've had 6 different players lead them in scoring this year. They don't rely too heavily on anybody as LeBaron Philon finally has his first points of the game.
Yeah, they've had 6 different Gators this year have scored 20 or more points in a game. I mean, that's impressive. And the road wins they've had is what's been amazing to me. I mean, they've beaten 2 #1 teams this year. And they've had great road wins at Auburn, at Alabama. They won at Mississippi State. It's not easy to win in Starkville.
The 2 #1 wins at Auburn, banked home by Chinulu, who's having the time of his life right now. And the other one was against Tennessee when the Vols were #1. Florida and Tennessee split 2 games this year, and neither of them were close. Florida won in Gainesville by 30. And then Tennessee returned the favor a few weeks later in a one in Knoxville by 20. The reason that's relevant is it sure looks like those 2 teams are going to meet again tomorrow. Clayton puts his head down. And the foul call on Jaron Stevenson.
He's got that ball on a string. He's expert at drawing that contact. Got his shoulders just past Jaron Stevenson to draw that contact. When we saw Florida playing at Kentucky, Walter Clayton Jr. was spectacular on the offensive end. I mean, he had 33 points in that one. Went 6 of 12 from 3. He was unstoppable.
Florida is on its way potentially to scoring more points in this game than they have scored in any game this year. Their highest scoring game was 100 in a loss at Kentucky in early January.
And Clayton's so hard to guard. I mean, he's a right driver, so you want to play him, forcing him left, so you play him with your left foot and your left hand up. But then when he goes left, he just pulls up.
They're just so balanced. 5 guards, 4 bigs. There's always somebody ready to check in if somebody needs a break or somebody gets in foul trouble. Philon, look at how hard he's having to work. Diabate kicks it out. Youngblood to the corner. Philon there. Clayton the rebound.
The other thing about Florida, Dan, that impresses me of the many things, and they don't seem to care who gets the credit.
Yeah.
And they each do their jobs. I think that they can certainly break out of roles when they have to, but they seem to take great pleasure in watching each other have success.
Out. The turnaround. And Stevenson has it
9%, 8 of 27 for the top
line as well. Condon. And a chance for 3.
Just a little horn set. Looked like he's going to set a ball screen.
Mark Sears, by the way, hasn't been in the game for a while for Alabama. Don't know if Nate Oates is just saying, hey, it's done. Not going to send him out there. You know, more games coming beginning next week. Diabate with a basket.
Yeah, I know this is not a happy time for Alabama. They wanted to come in here and win this tournament. But now that this is basically decided, you know, it's not all bad that Alabama gets to go home, get a little extra rest before the tournament starts, because one thing that's going to make everybody feel better in the Southeastern Conference is they get to see somebody new in the NCAA tournament.
Although maybe just for a couple of rounds, then they might start playing each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I would think, too, this would lock Alabama into a 2 seed, right? So if you're thinking about 1 seeds, again, Joe Lunardi heading into play today. His 4 1 seeds were Auburn, Houston, Duke, and Florida. I would think Auburn is still a 1 seed in spite of the loss with the body of work they've put up.
The way these SEC teams can beat each other up in this tournament, I thought that Michigan State might have an outside chance of getting a 1 seed, but not after losing to Wisconsin today. I think that ends that discussion.
Isaiah Brown, a freshman from Orlando, number 20, getting his first action of the day for the Gators. Aberdeen wide open. 102, a new season high for Florida, and that matches the highest point total in an SEC tournament game. Diabate, good work as he lays it in. He has put in a very honest day's work here in this game today.
He's a tough player, man. Gets you extra possessions.
For Alabama, the seed is one thing. The health of Grant Nelson is another. That obviously is, I think, going to be the first question, or the biggest question for Nate Oates after the game. How is Nelson, and will he hopefully be available when the NCAA tournament begins next week?
Yeah, and this will give a little extra time getting back to Tuscaloosa and getting treatment.
Thomas Houck will come out. That is Bennett Anderson, who has checked into the game now for the Gators, number 22. Holloway, no, and the rebound for Hanlockton.
That's got to be 10, right?
That is 10, yeah. 13 minutes, 4 points, and 10 rebounds.
And he got some steals, too. Knocked the ball away, and he's done everything.
Great to see him healthy and contributing on a team that could go a long, long way.
Well, there is nobody out there that this Florida team cannot beat. I know that.
The crowd wants Anderson to put a shot up. He does!
You love seeing how excited his teammates get over that. They know how hard Bennett Anderson and his teammates work.
And a new team record for most points in an SEC tournament game as well. And Bennett Anderson could say, yeah, that was me. You guys did your thing. That was me. What a performance by the Gators. They are going to the title game tomorrow.